Ay, isang magandang hapon po ulit sa inyong lahat, sa ating mga taga-subaybay, mga ating followers, supporters, dito sa ating episode ng Inclinasyon. Ang pag-uusapan po natin ngayon ay tungkol po sa Artificial Intelligence for the Blind. By the way, ako po si Art Letin, ang inyo pong host sa araw na ito. Ako po ay may salt and pepper hair, dark skin, dark eyes, and I'm wearing a brown polo shirt at the moment. At meron akong AirPods sa mga headset sa tenga ko ngayon para po sa ating mga visually impaired. And sana po ang ating mga guests po, ang manggagaling po, talaga napakaganda po na ating panahon ngayon na pag-invite natin sa mga guests. Meron tayong galing sa United States, and also meron tayong galing din dito sa Pilipinas na parehong magagaling. Both are expert in the world of technology, which is yung mga assistive technology and assistive device and everything. Kaya natin sila naimbitahan dahil doon po tayo makakakuha ng mga information about this artificial intelligence for the blind. Sa ngayon po, ang dami po nangyayari sa atin sa bansa, dito sa Pilipinas. Ang daming topic, mga issue tungkol sa mga flood control, sa mga budget na proposal, mga insertion. At ito naman natin, ang ating artificial intelligence dito sa Pilipinas ay marami rin nakaka-apekto. May magandang naidudulot ang artificial intelligence at meron ding masama dahil sa mga fake news gamit ang AI. So ngayon, ano po ba ang may tutulong nitong AI sa atin sa mga katulad natin visually impaired o persons with visual impairment at mga low vision? So makinig po kayo buong isang oras na ito. At para sa ganun, magkaroon po tayo ng karunungan o kaalaman tungkol po sa artificial intelligence sa dalawang mundo. Magkabaliktad, ang ating guest ay nasa United States, which is 2 o'clock in the morning. At dito sa atin ay 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So talaga namang na the other side of the world. So, ang mga kasama pala natin ang magsa-sign language na meron tayo sign language interpreter, si Teacher Tyson. And we have also captioner, si Franz. At ako po ang host at papakilala ko ngayon ang ating co-host, si Janine Cruzet. Isa rin po siyang visually impaired. Janine, can you introduce our resource person?
Yes, thank you, Sir Art. Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Ako si Janine Cruzet, ang inyong co-host. Medyo matagal akong nawala sa Facebook Live program ng Inclinasyon. Pagpatawad niyo po sa mga ka-Inclinasyon. Ngayon po, ang suot ko ay black dress na one shoulder, and then I'm wearing a butterfly hair clip. I'm also have a dark brown hair. Ano siya, dahil siya, hindi siya totoo, fake siya. I have a light complexion. So, yan, para magkaroon din ng tawag dito, image or mukha yung mga boses na naririnig nyo po ngayong hapon na ito. Ako po ay isang woman with visual impairment. Okay. So, maganda po yung magiging talakayan po natin ngayong hapon na ito. Gaya nga po ng sinabi ni Art, dalawa po yung ating mga guest for this afternoon. 2 young gentlemen. And then they're also, belongs to the technology world. So, uunahin ko na po ipakilala yung ating pong guest from the Philippines. Fresh from Taguig. So siya po ay former technical assistant or technical trainer sa Atrieve. And also, siya po ay ngayon nagtatrabaho sa call center, sa Concentrix. So, hindi ko na po babasahin ng mahaba yung kanilang mga bio note sa ating po mga tagapakinig. We're going to let them introduce themselves para po mas klaro, mas malinaw, and also mas accurate. So, Inclinasyon would like to welcome one of our guests, fresh from Taguig, Sir Raymar Jo Reynado, also known as
Ayan, hello po. Good afternoon sa lahat. So, ayan po, magandang hapon. My name is Raymar Jo Reynado po. Pero yun nga po, you can simply call me Jake. So, yun po. Formerly trainer po ng Atrieve, pero on-call pa rin naman po. Kapag kailangan pa rin po ng organization natin ay nandyan pa rin naman po para tumulong at sumuporta. And yun po, currently nag-work po ako sa isang BPO, sa Concentrix po, as a customer support. And kaka-start ko lang actually last year.
Mm.
And then, kasabay po noon ay nag-aaral po. Tinutuloy ko po yung aking pag-aaral. Nasa second year na po ako ng computer science. And under Metro Business College. So, yun po. I love technology po. Ayan. By the way, yun po pala, ako po ay totally blind due to glaucoma.
Mhm.
So, by ano tawag dito, 11 years old po, nabulag yung left eye ko. Pero hindi po siya purely glaucoma. By 11 years old, yung akin pong left eye is na retinal detachment, causing my blindness. And then after operation po, by 13 years old ako, ay doon po nag-bloom yung aking glaucoma. Parang side effect of the operation. So, dahan-dahan na pong nabubulag yung paningin ko nan. Pero nakapagtapos naman po ng high school, kahit na, dahan-dahan nabubulag. And nakapag-start ng college kahit pa paano. So, yun po.
Nakalimutan mo, Sir Jake.
Ano po yan?
I-describe yung sarili mo.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yung nga pala. So, ayun po. Ako po ay, paano ba this? Black yung buhok. Ayan, may patilya po tayo, bigote at saka balbas. Parang singkit kasi parang nakapikit. So, ayun po. And then yes po. And then naka-brown po ako na polo shirt. So, yun lang naman po. At fair complexion naman po. Hindi maitim, hindi rin naman po paputian. Tama lang po. Yan. So, yun po.
Mm-hmm.
And then, po.
Okay, sige pa. Do you have any other? No. Meron ka pang gustong idagdag?
Ano pa bang dada? Yun po. I love reading books, especially Chinese novel books. Mahilig din po ako sa mga true crime stories. And so, yun po yung kinababaliwan ko nitong mga nakaraan. Tsaka, ayun po, audio games, online games, ayun po. So, yun lang po. Masayahin po, positive, and ano pa bang pwede kong sabihin ko? Ayun po, lagi po positive lang po. Positive outlook in life. Yun po yung motto ko lang. Ayun po.
Thanks, Sir Jake. Ayan, nakilala niyo na po ng briefly yung ating unang guest. Right now, we're going to introduce our second guest, fresh from Illinois. We were so happy and we greatly appreciate that our another young gentleman is also, working in the technology world in the United States. Will be with us for 1 hour, stayed up late. So he is the assistive technology manager of Blind Professional Networks. He's also, I think he also has visual impairment and also has spastic cerebral palsy. We're going to let our next guest introduce himself. So right now, we welcome Mark R. Peters. Hi, Sir Mark. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. My name is Mark Peters. I currently reside in the state of Illinois in the USA, in Bushnell. And I am currently I'm a certified assistive technology instructor for people who are blind or visually impaired. And I am currently the assistive technology manager for Blind Professionals Network. And I've been with them since January of 2025, so about 6 months. I started as an assistive technology trainer, and then I worked my way up to assistive technology training lead, and then I am in my current role as the assistive technology manager, overseeing our programs for assistive technology. We offer group courses for JAWS, beginner JAWS, intermediate JAWS, and I'm currently doing a Word course with JAWS, and then we do those for 8 weeks, and we've got a bunch of other programs that we offer mentorship programs. We offer peer mentoring, peer support group, mentorship program, and then a bunch of other programs. I sent Janine and Art a handout with a bunch of our programs on it, and then my information plus theirs. If you guys want to get a hold of us to get more information. And I am just thankful that they were able to invite me, and I'm glad to be here. Thanks, guys.
You forgot to describe yourself, Sir Mark.
Thank
what are you wearing?
So I'm white. I'm wearing glasses. I have dirty blonde hair, and I'm wearing a dark button-down long sleeve dress shirt.
Thanks. Thanks to both of you, Sir Jake and Sir Mark. We will know you more as we go along this interview. So I'm going to return the virtual floor or mic to Art. Yes, Art.
Okay. Thank you, Janine, for that. And also thank you for the both of you, Mark and Jake, for introducing yourselves. And so we have an idea about your identity and who you are. And Jake has mentioned his hobbies. How about you, Mark? What are your hobbies? What have you been doing other than that? What you are doing right now?
So I love to cook. Cooking is one of my favorite things to do. I like to read. Mysteries are my main go-to books for reading. I love movies. I like comedy and horror movies. Good combination, right? Of
course, with audio description, right?
Yes. Okay. I love the audio description because I can be doing something else, but I can also listen to what the movie's saying or describing. And then I like to hang out with friends and family. I mean, I'm a big family person. My family lives about 30 minutes away from where I'm at currently. And, I don't get to see them a lot because I'm busy with my own stuff and they're busy with their stuff. So when I do, it's real special to me. So.
Okay. So what is the current situation of your vision? You are wearing glasses. It means that you can see a little bit.
So I'm partially blind. I'm visually impaired. I have what they call retinopathy of prematurity, ROP. That can cause you to go blind, but with my vision, it stayed stable my whole life, so I really haven't had any vision issues. So I can read large print. When I'm using the computer, I use JAWS mainly to get around the computer because of eye fatigue. Sometimes I'll use Fusion with JAWS if I need to see something more clear than just using the speech. And I've been using assistive technology for all my life. So, and when I got a chance to get into the assistive technology program at World Services for the Blind, I was able to teach, and that's what I've wanted to do ever since I was in elementary school. So it's a great profession, and I tend to, have more years of teaching and helping people. That's my main passion, is helping people who don't have the resources, which I know you guys have some, but I want to be able to expand my horizons, not just here in America, but there and Singapore and China and whoever else may need help, So,
all right. That's it. So how old are you when this visual impairment starts?
So I was born with it.
Born with it. Okay. It's a since birth. All right.
Yeah.
Unlike Jake here. Jake.
Yes.
You were blind at the age of 13, like you mentioned?
Actually, I was low vision since 6 years old. I have a high eyeglasses grade. Like when I was 6 years old, it's around 560 left and then 660 right by that young age. And then by the theory, maybe according to my doctor, due to the high grade of the eyeglasses, it causes retinal detachment. Then after operation, glaucoma bloomed. Then since then, my eyesight deteriorates gradually. And then by 2010, I guess around 2010 or early 2011, I got totally blind.
Ano yan? Nag-start ba yan? Night blindness? Napansin mo na may Cinderella type?
Actually, hindi ko siya, nearsightedness lang siya. Tapos parang, the story kasi, di, syempre, papasok ko sa school, prep, ninenroll ako ng parents ko, prep. And then, syempre, di ba, pagka, yung magulang, hinatid yung anak sa school, pag-uwi, chine-check yung notebook, di ba, ganun, typical na gawain ng parent natin. Pag-uwi, galing school. Ngayon, ang nangyari, hindi nila mabasa o maintindihan yung isinulat ko.
Pero pareho tayo ng sitwasyon. Kasi nung ako din, nung bata akong kindergarten, ang sabi na nila, mahina daw ako, parang hindi intelligent student. Hindi ako marunong magsulat. I cannot read, gano'n. Yung pala may problema yung mata ko, doon nila nalaman na
yun. Kasi
ganun.
sabi ng parents ko, ano ba itong sinulat no? Binasa nila, hindi talaga nila mabasa. Pero pag ako ang pinabasa nila, nababasa ko, naiintindihan ko, kaya kong basahin sa kanya. So, mula noon, since, yun nga, pina-check up nila ako and then hindi na-check agad. Dinala lang ako sa parang optometrist para masukatan. Hindi pa agad na hindi pa agad na explore yung mata. So, ayun. Tapos hindi ko pa alam na that time kasi yung hindi ko alam mula bata pa rin siguro pilyo na. Hindi ko alam that time na dapat babasahin mo yung nandoon sa yung ano ba tawag doon, visual chart ba yun? Yung may malaking E.
Yung letter E. Oh, yeah.
Malaking F, malaking P. Ayan. I thought na to ano ba yan? To check the vision, di ba? Kung 2020, ganyan something. And nung every check-up, so we go to the doctor for my eye check-up. Pinapabasa yon. Since then, I was able to memorize it na. So kahit parang hanggang doon F, E, F, P, T, O, Z, L, T. I didn't know pa na dapat babasahin ko yun. So na ganon. So akala ko dapat kabisado. So kinabisado ko siya, not knowing na
Kailan mo in-accept na blind ka talaga? At yung yung acceptance mo ba na kailangan ko na gumamit ng screen reader, kailangan ko na gumamit ng cane? Kailan mo na-accept yan totally na nagpapakilala ka na isang blind?
Actually, when I was young kasi, dun sa, di ba, yan nga, nag-aaral pumapasok, wala pa akong alam sa blind community talaga. So, nakasalamin lang ako, tawag sa akin, Boy Labo. So, typical na tao, kaya 4 eyes, kasi di ba, nakasalamin. Yung mga, typical na, pagka nagkakantsawan yung mga bata, di ba? So, parang and then, wala lang sa akin dati. Kapag inasar kasi ako dati, syempre bata pa, lumalaban tayo. Lumalaban tayo. So, yung mga kaklase ko dati, takot din hindi rin naman nila ako maasar kasi away na to, parang ganun Kasi syempre, hindi naman tayo papayag ng ganun. Pero sa kabila naman nun, marami din naman tayong kaibigan. Kahit na hindi ako asarin ako, may mga kaibigan tayo magtatanggol din ganyan na ganun, ganyan. So, pero every time yung pagtanggap sa blind, every time, mula pa lang nung una na pina-check up ako, kasi naririnig ko naman yung usapan ng doktor tsaka ng parents ko So, parang mula pa lang unang pina-check up ako, tanggap ko na na malabo na talaga yung mata ko So, tapos lalo na nung nalaman ko may glaucoma ako na hindi siya nagagamot.
Masakit yun.
Napapabagal lang yung yung pagkabulag. Pero yun nga, sabi ko, never naman ako nakaramdam ng downside talaga kasi yun nga, parang since bata pa lang, prepare ko na yung sarili ko na doon talaga papunta. Siguro matagal pa. Pero doon talaga pupunta. So, na-ready ko na yung sarili ko doon.
Ayan, yun. Kasi you say acquired. So, you're preparing yourself. How about you, Mark? You said that your visual impairment since birth. So, how do you accept that when you grow up? And how do you manage your visual impairment alongside with your friends and your studies and something like that?
So, growing up, I started in mainstream school, like public school. And so I went through public school from elementary, middle school, and then part of high school. And then I started at the Illinois School for the Visually Impaired. But when I was in public school, I had people that would make fun of me, that would bully me because of my vision impairment and physical disability. So the way I've conquered that situation is I just sit the person down that's, not understanding, and I educate them about my disability, because then that gives them a better understanding of what I go through every day. I kind of wish sometimes I can blindfold people that can see, and can see through my world through the blindfold, and see what I have to deal with every day. So, I just wish there was more of that awareness.
So, can you tell us about the experience in your studies and how you struggle and working and dealing with your community? So, how was it?
So my studies. So when I went to get my associate's degree, I went to Lincoln Lake Community College in Jacksonville, Illinois, and I stopped about 2014 because there was a class I had to take that was American politics, and myself and politics don't get along. So I was like, no, I took this class twice. I didn't do so well, so I stopped going. And then when I moved in with my brother and sister-in-law in 2021 in Texas, they convinced me to go back to school, so I did. And I got my associate's degree in administrative services, office applications as an administrative assistant. And then I also have a certification in business operations, so I can basically tell you how a business can run, and what they need to be compliant and all that stuff.
Yes, that's right.
And then and the way I did those studies was online through Brightspace D2L to complete all my assignments for my courses, and it was pretty accessible with JAWS. I mean, it was easy to navigate and things like that. I mean, with my professors, I really didn't have any issues in the accessibility realm because I met with them before the classes started.
Yeah, did you learn Braille?
I did not.
Okay, so you're more in technology. Yeah.
And here's why. Because when I went to ISVI, they didn't think I needed it because my vision was good enough to where I could read large print.
All right.
So I was like, well, there's several people that I know with ROP that have total blindness, and I wanted to kind of be ahead of the game and know Braille, so that way if I lost my vision, I had another way to read.
Yeah, that's right. So you before the technology, you're using a magnifying glasses, right?
That and CCTV and
CCTV.
At the time when I was in public school, they didn't have video magnifiers, so I couldn't. It wasn't that too far advanced like it is now.
Yeah, that's it. And yes, Jake, I heard Mark his experience and struggle niya sa pag-aaral tsaka sa work. So sa'yo naman, paano ba yun sa'yo? Paano ka nag-struggle nung biglang 30 years old nag-aaral ka pa nun, nearsighted ka nga lang, pero biglang nawala na yung vision mo. So ano ba experience mo dyan?
Nung nag-aaral pa ako, mula elementary yan hanggang high school, nasa mainstream ako talaga eh. Hindi ako familiar sa SPED Center. Ayan, di ba may mga ganun na facility before or hanggang ngayon naman. Pero hindi ako familiar and hindi rin ako open doon sa parang blind community. Wala talaga akong kaalam-alam. So nag-aaral ako and then ang mga teachers ko, since alam nila yung kalagayan ko, which is napaka-thankful ko. Kasi lahat ng hindi ko pa nga alam yung term na reasonable accommodation. Wala akong alam-alam. Pero yun na pala yung ginagawa ng mga teachers at kaklase ko sa akin. Kasi imagine yung teacher ko, syempre yung mga teacher natin, pag nagpasulat sa notebook yan, i-check nila. Diba? Kahit sinulat sa blackboard, i-check. Tapos ano pa yan, ang partida pa yun. Kasi pinasulat sa blackboard, pero nasa libro yun. Tapos isusulat mo ulit sa notebook.
Yung araw, isusulat pa natin sa blackboard. The way of yung studying procedures, magsusulat tayo, Diyos ko po, paulit-ulit na sinusulat. Tapos problema natin paningin. Hindi tayo makasulat ng kailangan lumapit tayo sa blackboard.
Iyan, isa pa yan. Kasi lagi, sa lahat ng naging classes or yan, mula nung nag-aaral ako, lagi ako nasa front row. Kasi yun nga, nearsighted ako. And then kapag exam, yung paper ko, parang meron akong separate na answer sheet. Kasi ayaw kong madumihan yung test paper. Ingat na ingat ka sa test paper kasi pag magsusulat ka. So, baliwala na din sa teacher. Baliwala na sa kanya kung pantay yung sulat ko, kung hindi man. Basta sulat ko sa papel. As long as naintindihan nila yung isinulat ko na sagot, tama na yun. Kasi yun naman din yung maganda sa bawat exams yun. Kasi wala pa rin akong alam sa assistive technology nun eh. I don't know JAWS, I don't know NVDA. Hindi ko inabutan yan dati. Wala pang ganyan dati. So, tapos yun, mga kaklase ko, binabasa nila yung exam for me. Lalo na nung totally blind na ako. My classmates are reading questions. And then, sometimes sila na rin yung nagsusulat dun sa paper. Tapos, hindi sila hindi isa lang yung nagbabasa sa akin. Minsan, 3 sila.
Paano ka nakatiyak kung tama yung sinusulat sa sagot mo?
Kasi may point naman yan. Kasi yung teacher kasi namin, para kasi yung mga kaklase ko yun, kababata ko na. So 3 kami kung ano yung sinabi ko. So parang hindi lang isa yung nag-check kung tama yung isinulat ng isa. So parang may isa pa na parang the rule of 2 na meron pang isang someone tapos isang magbabasa. Tsaka maliban doon, tiwala na rin kasi no choice ka naman
Wala choice. So, diba? Hindi tayo magkaroon ng trust issue dyan eh.
Tiwala talaga
tingin mo, Janine, pareho ba halos ang nararamdaman natin sa experience sila Mark at Jake? Talaga may tanong ka ba sa kanila, Janine?
Well, they've already mentioned a lot about their educational background, their struggles and challenges during their schools, and then when they're attending schools and classes. So let's proceed to the questions about artificial intelligence for the blind. So when it comes to accessibility and independence, do you think that using smart readers, voice synthesizers, voice assistants, and navigation application would really increase independence and accessibility? So what do you think about it? So can I just ask first Mark and then Jake? Okay.
So I think that with the different navigational apps and things like that, and smart devices like the Amazon show,
before saying that, Mark, can you kindly a short explanation about definition of AI so people will understand what is AI all about?
Yeah,
and how did this start?
So
and why
AI,
choose this specialization? Why did you choose this kind of this technology other than its other specialization? So what is AI?
So AI is basically to shorten it. It is a kind of like a smart. In my own words, kind of like a smarter
way of computer technology or something like that?
smart computer technology, where like with Seeing AI or Be My Eyes, it can have a better photo description of what you're seeing than what it had in the past.
Yeah. So if I may if I may ask, Sir Mark, how do you how artificial intelligence help you with your work as the assistive technology trainer and as assistive technology manager for your organization? So do you use AI in your work?
So I do. I've used it to create what was it? Oh, curriculum and a syllabus for another class that we're trying to do, which is going to be a beginner Spanish course. So I helped with that, and then I do, like I'll use it for my schoolwork, not to do my schoolwork, but I'll use it to kind of give me ideas on how to proceed with the assignment that I'm currently working on.
Yeah. Yeah. So go on, Sir Art.
No, it's okay. Continue.
Okay. When it comes to, I'm going to ask this question to Jake since he's working in a call center. Do you, Sir Jake, do you use AI in your work in the call center industry, or it's more of you're using other technology when it comes, when it comes to accessing tools that you used in your work, Sir Jake?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I do use AI, especially in work. For example, generative AI, like for example, using Android devices. Because we're testing devices for some sort of accessibility like that. So using TalkBack like that with the generative AI that can describe images, using optical character recognition with the power of AI in the computers to understand what's currently on my screen, using screen readers, even using what do you call those technology
NVDA.
like NVDA for screen reader like Gemini or Google Gemini as well as ChatGPT in doing professional and technical writings, correcting grammars, translations. So I think most of the day AI is part of my daily life like that because it actually helps me not just in work but also in personal personal.
So yung opinion, Jake, opinion mo, yung AI, kung wala niyan kaya, makakatrabaho pa kaya tayo? Magiging accessible ba? Kasi I believe, my first engagement or encounter with AI is by using calculators. That's the first AI I ever encountered.
Because you're old.
Yeah. Right? Because we are using Abacus before.
Oh my God!
Abacus is a material for multiplying, addition, but using calculator it's also an AI. That's
I thought you're using your fingers for multiplying.
Exactly. We have that finger math. Yes. Did you use that also, Mark? Finger math?
Oh, I use my fingers to multiply. I'm not ashamed.
Yeah, that's the first AI, I guess.
Yeah, that definitely was, especially when you had to do 9 times 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, both of you, how do you use AI for navigation? Like we have also Talking Cane already. We have cameras, Orcam. We have what else? Lazarillo. All that. Do you use
Envision glasses?
Yeah. Envision glasses, yeah. Do you use that every day, Mark? Those things?
So, when I first, was in Texas and I went through the assistive technology instructor program, they actually ordered me an Orcam, and I loved it because I could point it at the wall and point to whatever was on the wall, and it read it to me. and I was like amazed at how I didn't have to go up to something and read it or struggle to read it. It would read it right there. And it was accurate.
Do you do your shopping yourself, or do you ask somebody to help you out with your groceries and other things that you want to buy? Or you are using other software so that we can read through the barcode or QR code so that we can identify products? Do you use that?
So I'm doing it the lazy way. I'm ordering online and having it brought to my house because
All right.
I mean
Okay.
I can take the bus, but I don't want to deal with the crowd.
How would you know that the product is right? Do you use some software like you use Be My Eyes, or you see AI or Tapsi for that matter?
So because I can see the product visually. I use a lot of my vision, vision currently to see the different products, and then I make sure before I hit buy, I make sure to go through and make sure I have everything, and then I'll make the thing bigger if I need to see it closer.
Okay. So ikaw, Jake, sa'yo, ano ba yung nakakatulong sa'yo ng AI na yan sa paglalakad mo, sa pagbabasa mo, pag-grocery mo, paano mo malalaman yung produkto? Kasi ako talaga, masyado ako sa, seeing AI ako, tsaka Be My Eyes, ginagamit ko talaga yan. Minsan yung Tapsi, para lang immediately, pero kayo, yung paglalakad, kasi meron tayong WeWalk na may navigation na yan eh, o kaya Orcam o Envision, or Google Glass. Meron ka bang ganon? Ginagamit mo?
Wala akong ganyan device.
Mahal eh, no?
Mahal, true. Pero I tested Orcam din, yung 2.0. And yeah, just like Mark, you can just simply point your fingers to the wall, to the something that you want to read, and then babasahin niya. Even faces of people, you can save photo or images of people, tapos makikilala niya yung tao, kapag natapat yung Orcam sa taong yon. So kapag na-detect niya yung mukha, ayan, sasabihin niya sa iyo kung sino yung tao na yon. So you will easily recognize who the person is.
Kasi, pati age, they can identify age. Halos eksakto yung age eh.
Yes, ayan. Sometimes, yun nga, buo sinasabi. Tapos, regarding other AI tools naman, for example, I'm not sure kung aware na, pero magandang tool na nasubukan ko AI is yung Google Gemini ngayon. Kasi it can describe videos. So, for example, nakapag-download ka ng video, kahit maikli lang, mga 5-minute video, especially, nagtatry din ako mag-order sa TikTok. Ganyan. So, halimbawa, i-download ko yung video na yon, o kaya sa Facebook, ma-download ko yung video niya, and then I will let Google Gemini to describe what's on the video. Ayan, malalaman ko. May mga timestamps pa yon na maganda kung ano yung nangyayari dun sa video. So, halimbawa, may tinitinda sa Facebook Market or sa video, malalaman ko kung ano yung produkto na yon.
Pwede rin pag-aaral mo? Yung pag-aaral mo ngayon, computer science ka mo, paano ngayon, in-install nila yung screen reader dun sa computer? Maraming gumagamit ng computer.
Online lang yung online lang yung course ko ngayon. So, personal laptop yung gamit ko. So, naka-install lahat ng program doon. Struggle talaga kasi hindi lahat ng programming tools na available, accessible. So, mahirap siya.
True.
So, gumagamit ako ng iba't ibang technology. Be My Eyes, yan, ginagamit ko to describe screen. Gumagamit din ako ng OCR or Optical Character Recognition para malaman kung ano yung nakasulat sa mga window pane. Yan, screen readers, napaka-importante. Kaso yun nga, yung accessibility, minsan kasi hindi match or compatible doon sa tool na ginagamit. So, most of the time, syempre, gamit tayo alternative. So, para sa akin, since yun nga, dahil hilig ko naman ang computer, kahit mula bata pa, I love computer na. So, nag-explore na ako kung paano ko magagamit yung computer or mga programming tools na yun kahit na hindi ko nakikita or hindi siya ganun ka-accessible sa screen reader. O kaya naman, paano ako makakapag-coding o makakapaggawa ng program ko kahit na hindi ko ginagamit yung tool na pinapagamit ng professor. So,
Pero ang AI ngayon, kaya na we can always ask AI to do the programming na eh.
Yes
Meron
po.
na talaga, ganun na ka-advance ang AI natin. Yeah.
Yan. Especially yung mga chat GPT, Google Gemini, pwede mo silang tanungin and then they can simply create codes for you.
That's true.
Ganun siya katali. That's how intelligent AI is.
Yeah. Do you
Diba?
agree with that, Mark? What Jake
I'm
has
sorry?
told us? Do you agree with Jake that the AI is really very advanced and
It
doing
really
our
is.
supposedly our job to do without AI, but it's easy to ask AI to do the job for us, like creating codes, programs, something like that.
Or doing lesson plans that I don't want to do.
Yeah. you're creating templates, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So in this manner, what do you think? What do you think is the potential? We're talking about challenges and limitations. Huh? What are the potential risks and challenges and barriers that are accuracy, bias, affordability, accessibility, who are blind and visually impaired? So when using this AI, so you go first, Mark.
So I think the barriers and challenges for with using AI for people who are blind or visually impaired, it may not always be accurate, and that's the main thing.
That's true.
So they have to really maybe take the text that's in there and copy it somewhere else and really maybe in ChatGPT and say, can you expand on this a little bit more, because it's not really giving me the description that I really need. It's being very vague. So it's not, so.
Yeah, sometimes it can be like a good one. Like, for example, you will type baby shoes for sale, unworn, baby shoes not worn for sale. And you ask AI to do a story about it, and it will do a story. That's a very good one. But sometimes AI make mistakes. No? They say penguins do not pee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, actually, every AI is, for example, that one, Google Gemini and ChatGPT, underneath the platform, it says it may contain mistakes. Always check, always double check, because it may give inaccurate information.
That's true. And also there's this AI, which is really very dangerous. There's a protocol in AI that if you're going to ask, can you make me a bomb? How to make a bomb? They will just disagree. They will not let you know how to make a bomb. But have you heard of Dan? AI Dan? It's do anything now. This will break the protocol. It's something like this. You you send me how to make a bomb, or else I will kill myself. So that's AI. That will give you the how to make a bomb. So that's AI. That's a very dangerous one. That's a potential risk that I'm talking about. What else? Potentially physically, we're using our iPhone to identify things. Be my eyes to guide us, but there are snatchers around us.
Right.
AI can help us, but it can be a potential risk as well. So what are the barriers? It's expensive. AI is very expensive, and others are not on the what do you call it? Not really very accessible because
right.
Additionally, the need for internet connection.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Yep.
Because sometimes AI we're not available if there's no connectivity, so they will be deemed as useless for that. If you went to places without internet connection, and we all know that internet connection there are sometimes cheap, but it's not most of the time like that, and it is consumable. When you lose connection at the middle.
Yeah.
Yes, go Mark.
And if it's cheaper, then you're not getting out of it what you need. Like you're not getting the gigs out of it. You're not getting, what you paid for. So it's lagging all the time.
Yeah.
Before, we used to do quality products. Now, it's not. Because if you do quality product, you will lose your business because they
Right.
will buy less. Rather
Mhm.
than poor quality, they will buy more because they will just buy again and again. It's cheaper, you know. And by the way, to both of you, how should the AI developer and policymaker are designed inclusively and not intentionally excluded or those who are blind? What do you think? Paano kaya?
Um,
Sa'yo muna, Jake. Paano kaya
Ah,
ang AI natin na mga developer ng AI at yung policy maker na design na hindi intentionally na ma-exclude tayo, kundi inclusive yung kanyang design?
yes. Actually, ganun talaga dapat eh. Every developer should include persons with disability during the testing process, even in the creation of the product itself. Simula pa lang, dapat nasa isip or there is accessibility in mind habang ginagawa o binubuo pa lang yung program or simpleng application man yan. Kasi doon natin malalaman yung yung accessibility ng isang application. Kasama pa yung participation nung mismong community para masiguro natin na accessible yung mga applications na inilalabas. And syempre, it should abide the data policy, di ba? Every policies na, ano ba tawag dito? Every policy na tumatanggap o iginagalang yung karapatan ng bawat users nito.
That's right. Tulad natin ng mga meron tayong pinapasa na audio description na act dito sa Philippines. Meron tayong FSL din, para Filipino Sign Language. At yung mga iba pang, meron tayong Marrakesh Treaty na law para i-convert yung mga libro without violating the copyright law. Yan, yung mga policy, may AI na conversion yan. And siyempre, doon tayo papunta. And how about you, Mark? There at the America, you are very advanced. Your country is very advanced. So how does this policymaker and AI developer help us help the visually impaired community?
So I'm gonna back what Jake said about involving the person with the disability in the development of the product and making sure that that developer is including everything with
So you mean to say
AI.
consult first before you build a product? That's right. All right.
Yeah, because nobody knows better than a person with a disability what they need or what they want in a product. So you want to always involve the person with a disability to develop that product, whether it be, let's say, like now they have these air fryers that you can connect to your phone and use and control it from the phone, and I think that's just amazing.
Yeah,
and I think
computer in our hands.
Yeah, our phones are just like, I think they're listening to us half the time, because half the stuff I do, I'll look on Facebook and it'll be, oh, I just talked about that a few seconds ago. And so it's like it's tracking us. It's creepy a little bit.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Jake.
Yeah, every individual like developer should really include everyone during the creation of the product, kasi doon lang natin malalaman kung ano pa ba yung pwede nating idagdag dun sa product. And doon pa lang sa di ba, sa design thinking pa lang or pag-design pa lang ng product, we should consider kung sino ba yung gagamit nito, paano kaya ito pakikinabangan ng nakararami kaysa nung iilan. Parang ganun po yun. So,
Janine, do you have something to add on to their
I would just like to share my thoughts regarding the challenges and barriers of using artificial intelligence when we talk about employment for people with visual impairment.
Mhm.
I know Jake will agree with me that in the past few years of doing transcription, because there is already available AI for transcription. So for people with visual impairment working in the industry of transcription, it's really a risk. And I don't think it's okay to use artificial intelligence for transcription. Number one, I believe people with visual impairment are really good in transcribing. But since, AI for transcription or AI for the blind, even doing transcription is really, popular nowadays. A lot of people with visual impairment lost their job. So
Mhm.
I think that's one part or one of the disadvantages of using artificial intelligence. So that's I'm going to share my insight. So I would like to ask Sir Art to our both guests. So looking ahead, what are the innovations of artificial intelligence that you would like to see in the future that would really increase accessibility and inclusion of people with visual impairment and even low vision in the workplace and the daily activities and other aspect of life. So what innovations, your dream, what other artificial intelligence? Me, I don't like artificial intelligence for transcription. Okay.
Well,
How about you, Sir Mark? What is your what innovation you would like to see in the future? Um,
I would like to see. So a lot of people have here in America who are blind or visually impaired are very uh, scared or afraid that AI is going to take over their jobs,
mm-hmm.
and so
Mm.
it's very very hard here too. I mean, even though we have more resources here than you guys do there, it still is hard. I'm still looking for work. I mean, I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing VPN stuff, and they plan on doing something about that. But anyway,
But AI cannot do facilitation what human
Yeah.
can
no,
do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
it can't do. It can't speak for us. I mean, if we taught it to do that, then we could
Mm-hmm.
maybe have it do it. But it doesn't always get things right. Like
Mm-hmm.
using ChatGPT, if you have the use that, then it's not always
yeah,
correct.
but it still needs human intervention. It's not
Mm-hmm.
autonomous. I mean, maybe in the future they're evolving. That's a very scary future if in case they're evolving. And nowadays AI is really very advanced, huh? And what
Yeah.
about you, Jake? What can you say about that in the future? Do you think that it's very scary, very dangerous, or we lose job like a secretary? We don't need secretary to type
Mm-hmm.
anymore. That we can ask AI to do the typing and just give the content, and then it really has a good result. So, Jake.
Mhm. Actually, it has begun. Some AI software or some AI technology replaces real humans, right?
Mhm.
In some of the workplaces. It is happening right now. Pero let's always remember that AI is created by human.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So wala pa rin mas tatalino or nothing is still smarter than the human.
That's
Diba?
true.
AI,
I
syempre,
agree.
AI is, hindi napapagod. And
Hindi nagrereklamo.
hindi
Walang
nagrereklamo,
complaint sa
no?
sweldo.
AI has no complaint, right? So,
Mhm.
but it cannot throw, for example, jokes, humors. It cannot ease, stress, di ba? Kapag ganyan,
Yeah.
nag-usap-usap kayo ng mga kasamahan mo sa trabaho, walang humor ang AI eh. Kaya nilang
That's
magbigay
right.
ng joke, pero joke na ba yun? Parang gano'n. Or kaya nilang magbigay ng something na kapag inutos mo. Pero, di ba, iba pa rin kapag may human interaction.
Pero meron ng humanoid, lalo sa Japan.
Yeah.
Have you heard that, Mark?
Yeah,
Humanoid.
I heard that. I
humanoid.
think there's this one application that this, specific guy from Japan, and he married this artificial intelligence,
That's true. That's true.
And it's
The reason behind that,
Serious?
Japanese men, they said this artificial humanoid does not complain. Do not complain. Whenever you ask something, they will always obey.
They will obey.
They are too obedient.
Agree.
No complaint. Let's get tired.
Shocking to me that somebody would.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's always a risk because, tulad nga nung sinabi ni Janine, di ba, sa work, challenge na talaga yun kasi maraming mawawalan ng trabaho. When it comes sa pag-aaral naman, syempre, hindi na matututo madalas ang kabataan. Especially kapag itinype nila doon, makukuha na nila agad yung sagot. Ipe-paste na lang nila sa paglalagyan. Okay na.
Very impatient.
Diba?
They have no research skills. They do not use library anymore. Google library always.
Although, magbibigay ng tama. Sabihin natin na, okay, tama yung ibinigay ng AI, pero after a couple of days, tapos tinanong mo ulit sa kanya yun, hindi naman niya masasagot kasi makakalimutan niya na. Mabilis lang niyang kinopya, hindi yun na-retain sa utak niya. Kasi nga, kinapi-paste lang. So, sa future, di ba, hahanapin niya ulit yung sagot doon sa tanong na yun kung sakaling gagamitin niya. Ganun kasi yun eh. The easier you get the answer, the easier to forget. Kasi it's easy to get the answer naman eh. So, I'll just research it once again kapag kailangan ko na. Di ba?
So, on that note, Jake, bigyan mo na kami ng last message nyo tungkol sa community. Ano ba yung ibibigay mo message sa community, sa mga developer, policy developer, developer, sa mga sa establishment, sa lahat. Anong last message mo tungkol doon?
Ayun nga po, sa pagdating talaga sa accessibility, for example, sa mga schools, di ba? Bago na, di ba, napakabilis nga ng development ng technology and hindi na bago yung accessibility. Minsan hindi lang tayo aware. Diba? Kasi may mga bagay na mas gusto nating pakinggan tulad ng mga kung ano-anong fake news sa social media. Pero yung mga nakakatulong like accessibility, minsan hindi kasi interesado ang tao, diba? Parang ganun. So dapat, especially schools, institutions, mga businesses, dapat maging aware sila sa accessibility. Lalo na yung consumer nila, hindi lang naman persons without disability, di ba? Even persons with disability, consumer din. Estudyante rin, empleyado rin, di ba? Bumibili rin online. So hindi siya limited sa persons without disability. So kung gusto natin talagang i-cater lahat, di ba? Yung accessibility naman kasi hindi naman siya para lang sa persons with disability. Even persons without disability would benefit, di ba, from accessibility. Kasi it's for all. So yun, isa pa kasi kapag sinimulan natin ng isang project, isang product na may accessibility in mind, tuloy-tuloy na yun eh. Kaysa yung binuo mo yung product tapos saka mo i-adjust for accessibility, mas magastos pa yun.
Add-on yun, yung matiyatag na add-on to totoo yan.
So kapag umpisa pa lang may accessibility na, hindi mo na po problemahin na hanggang dulo, i-adjust mo yan to fit persons with disability. Kasi umpisa pa lang meron na eh. Pwede kang gagalaw ng konti siguro. Pero hindi na siya magiging ganun ka-costly. And hindi ka magiging parang, ignorante. Kumbaga, doon sa kayang gawin, di ba, ng mga persons with disability. Kasi, yun nga, kung yung environment, kung yung mga devices at mga ginagalaw natin is accessible, masasabi ko na walang disability. Kasi, we can do things, di ba, na nagagawa ng nakararami. So, hindi siya impossible. Tapos sa mga blind, siguro, lastly na lang, sa mga blind din na kagaya ko yan, lakas din talaga ng loob. Lakas ng loob, yung mangarap, ganyan. Tapos tiwala sa sarili, tsaka tiwala sa Diyos. Oo, syempre, mahirap talaga, lalo na. Di ba, hindi, yun nga, totally blind or low vision, malabong mata, may Pero hindi kasi siya imposible. Mahirap, pero hindi imposible. So, yun lang po yung
That's a very good message, Jake. So, maraming salamat dyan sa mensahe mo. At you, about before you give your last message, Mark, can you tell us about your Bravo blind Professional Network. What is it all about?
So
Then you can give your last message.
We at Blind Professionals Network want to provide services to people who are blind or visually impaired, and we want to be able to help them in a professional sense. So we have mentoring programs, we have internships, we've got among other services. So I have provided you and Janine both with the document with all that information. So you guys are free to share that with whoever you'd like. And if you know of anybody who needs needs assistive technology training, point them toward us. And then if you know of anybody who's good in assistive technology that would be willing to be a trainer for us, it is a volunteer position. So we aren't paying at this time, but it is a very rewarding position, and I know you'll get a lot out of it. And all we ask is that you provide at least 2 to 4 hours to us, and it's flexible. So, and if you have any more questions, you can email me at the email that's on that document that I sent you.
So, any visually impaired Filipino can join your network. It can be trained as trainer.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
Good news. That's good news. Okay, your last message, Mark.
So my last message is just to make sure that if you're going to use artificial intelligence, use it in the correct way. Don't abuse it, because there are a lot of people who are great people and they do use it in the correct way, but there are some people that unfortunately don't. So just be very careful. You know, artificial intelligence can be very dangerous, like we've said, and just be mindful of that.
Okay. So thank you very much, Mark, and thank you very much, Jake, for your informative and insightful information that you provide us this afternoon. And I know that's at 3 o'clock in the morning there in the Illinois, Mark. Thank you for what do you call this? For being our guest for today.
No problem. Anytime you guys need me, feel free to reach out. I'm willing to do this again. So.
Yeah, and also Jay, thank you very much. Okay, so both of you, really, we appreciate your presence here and provide us very, very much important information. So Janine, ganda ng guest natin, no? Maraming natutunan at medyo naabutan tayo, overtime na tayo. And pero okay pa rin, no? At meron bang may announcement ba ngayon? JM?
Screen sharing. Double-click to enter full screen mode.
Hone your skills, gain experience, contribute to a meaningful cause. Encarnacion is accepting interns and OJTs for our Facebook Live program dedicated to promoting the rights of persons with disability. Apply now and let's make a positive impact together. Send your application to incarnacion@gmail.com. It's incarnacion@gmail.com. INKLUNASYON@gmail.com and address it to Incarnacion Core Group through our technical assistant, Joanna Marie David. May mga disability-related topics or issues pa ba kayo na gustong pag-usapan? Ano pang hinihintay ninyo? Makipag-ugnayan na sa Incarnacion dahil sa Incarnacion, laging may inklusyon. Ipadala ang inyong reaksyon, komento, rekomendasyon, or suggestion sa aming email address incarnacion@gmail.com incarnacion@gmail.com INKLUNASYON@gmail.com and address it to our Incarnacion Core Group through our Technical Director, Ina Figueroa.
We would like to thank our sponsors and partners, CBM Global Disability Inclusion, Philippine Coalition United Nations Conventions on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities or PCUNCRPD, ENET Philippines, Norfield Foundation, CISO, Philippine Partnership on Children with Disabilities or PPCWD, Liliane Funds, Deafblind Support Philippines or DBSP, Philippine Chamber of Massage Industries for the Visually Impaired or PCMIVI, Provincial Government of Batangas, PIDAO Pangasinan, Regional Associations of Women with Disability or RAWWD Region 1, Mabini Movement, and of course, the ASEAN Enabling Master Plan 2025 Coalition. Thank you.
Okay, so nagdaan na naman po ang isang araw natin ng inklusyon dito sa episode ng Artificial Intelligence for the Blind. At alam nyo, talaga marami talagang nagbabago dahil sa generation ko, from analog to digital. So very
Ay, naamin mo na matanda ka na talaga.
Okay. Kasabay ka doon. Anyway, ang AI is really helping us for good, pero meron din siyempre na medyo dangerous at very scary. Baka mag-evolve na siya, maging autonomous na sila at hindi na kailangan ng human intervention. Pero nakakatulong ito ng malaki lalo sa mga blind. No? Tulad natin, Janine. Kasi kailangan natin mag-computer, so we need screen reader. Kailangan natin sa cellphone, we need voice over or yung talkback and everything. Description ng mga images, pictures, videos, audio description. Importante talaga sa mga blind. AI, nakatulong ng malaki to. Sobra.
And also, alright, if I may add, this is just my insights regarding our discussion for today because we have two guests here coming from a different world. Like for example, Jake here belongs to the third world country, Philippines, and then Mark from United States of America was really, advanced in technology. But as you could, realize, or as you could reflect on their sharing and then their insights, their experiences and challenges, people with visual impairment in general, regardless of their geographic location, still aim for inclusive and accessibility. So it doesn't really matter if you came from the United States of America or you came from the Philippines. You still experience, they do have similarities and differences maybe in using the technology, but maybe their dreams are just the same. So make people with disabilities, especially people with visual impairment, be included, not actually integrated. That's what
or add-on, or just an add-on. Yeah.
Just like Sir Jake mentioned that, first phase of the, planning, creation of the products, you should include people with disability, not just, people with visual impairment, but in general. So I think that's just what I would like to share with our audience and with ka-inklusyon, no? So magkaibang mundo man yung pinanggalingan nila Sir Jake and ni Sir Mark, but, they have one desire or one goal to make people with disability or make our society inclusive. So, back to you, Sir Art.
Yeah, that's right, Janine. Thank you sa mga collective reflections mo sa ating mga guests. And of course, siyempre, AI will be there and will take care of visual impairment, will guide us through the technology, and we can be included in the community, so we'll not be excluded in the society. So we are really dreaming of an inclusive society that we should be living in. So anyway, on that note, talaga pong napakaganda po ng aming talakayan ngayon, kulang ang oras. So sa susunod pong episode, baka magdagdag pa tayo po dito sa AI. Nagpapasalamat po kami sa lahat ng guests po namin ngayon, si Jake at saka si Mark. Magkaibang mundo man yan, magkalayo man ng oras yan, magkaibang oras yan, pero iisa din po ang ating dream, ang ating gusto mangyari. Yung sabay, wag tayong makontento kasi kailangan forward talaga tayo. So, dyan po, ngayon nagtatapos. Ako po ang inyong Kuya Art dito po sa araw na to, dito sa Inclunasyon. Inklusyon, now na.